Hello guys, I'm Griffin D, and in this video we are reading Massage Therapists of Reddit. Have you ever had a sexual experience while giving a client a massage? Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. I got a good one. Him and male escort and erotic masseurs. My prices are very high compared to a regular massage and no one can mistaken what you're buying. Also, the website I advertise on is full naked buff dudes, so there's really no confusion. Well, one day I receive a call from a man asking if I am available. He said he would like a massage at his office in the middle of downtown. I didn't think much of this as I've done this kink for a few people before. They normally run a small business and nobody is there at that time at night. Innocent enough. But this guy requested it to be at lunch and gave me the address to a bustling building. When I arrived it was filled with people in a beautiful open space office. I brought my massage table and people were making light conversation with me thinking I am a legit masseuse. This was way out of my comfort zone. I'm used to dealing with pervy guys in dim-lit rooms, not talking to Karen and her friends interested in booking a massage. When I finally met the guy, he led me through a maze of people and departments. Everyone was staring as I was dressed like a man-ho while everyone else was in business attire. Tank top, grey sweats and no underwear. Gotta dress the part, you know. He leads me to an open room that had been converted into a massage area, meaning there is no doors. Just a paper curtain divider that blocks the view from his co-workers. I started the massage and was thinking he can't possibly think I would do anything here, right? This is insane. After 30 minutes, I started to get a sense that something is off. I would glide my hands to more intimate areas, but he kept talking casually. Most guys would pop a tent, or ask to be massaged near their groin or start touching my junk. But he was talking about his wife and daughters. I immediately asked him how he found me. He told me it was a recommendation from one of his friends. Then starting going on about his relationship with this guy and how they have a very strong friendship and that they would constantly prank each other. I froze and my heart dropped. This guy thinks this a legit massage. This was supposed to be a prank that somehow got way too advanced without any party knowing. Hence, why I'm in the middle of a tech office and he is so nonchalant about everything. I immediately went real masseurs and focused on his knots for the remainder of the time. He paid me my ridiculous fee and made a small comment about it being expensive for a massage, but it was good and convenient. I was beyond terrified as I was seconds away from doing some highly inappropriate things to this man right in the middle of his office feet from his co-workers. This is my most eerie experience I've had yet. Not a massage therapist, but my dad is, and this is one of his favorite stories. When his clients come in, he gives them a list of Pandora stations to choose from for the session. A client comes in one day and picks 50s jazz, so like Ella Fitzgerald and stuff. The thing about some of these women from the 50s, some of their songs were not so subtly sexual. One comes on, and it's about a woman asking her lover when he's coming home. But she's singing lines like, "When are you gonna come? Oh, I can't wait for you to come. Come for me, baby. I love it when you come for me." He's in the middle of working on this woman's glutes when the song comes on, and pauses to see if she's awake. She hadn't said anything for a while, so he figures she's just gone to sleep. It's a pain to stop what he is in the middle of working on, walk over to the phone, and wipe all the massage oil off his fingers just to skip the song. So he makes a mental note to remove it from the playlist and keeps working. A few minutes later, when the song is reaching its climax of a woman begging her lover to come, his massage bottle runs out of oil. Not a problem, he always keeps a spare on his hip, because this happens. The thing is, sometimes when a bottle is being filled up, a bubble of air gets caught in the tube inside and comes out with the first pump. He goes to pump the oil into his hand, and a mix of oil and air comes out with a loud splooge sound like a cartoonish ejaculation noise. He freezes, one hand on the pump and the other on this woman's ass. She doesn't react, so again he thinks she's probably asleep. Then her entire body starts shaking with laughter. They're both laughing so hard they need to take a break from the massage to compose themselves. Thank God she was chill and found it just as funny as he did. I enjoy a good butt massage, but I don't enjoy the amount of focus it takes to keep it half-mast at most for 90 minutes, instead of enjoying the massage so the undies stay on the bundies. I had a very eccentric, creepy as frig, client who came into our clinic one day wanting a two-in massage, type of Chinese massage. We usually leave the room to let the client strip down into underwear before we commence. But with this guy I had no chance to get away. Before I had time to give him a towel he dropped his pants to reveal a sparkling blue G-string that barely kept everything in place. The guy was about 58. Huge beer gut, grey hair, gold earring, and hairy like Robin Williams. As I started the massage, the guy started to tell me that he worked as an erotic masseur specializing in body slide massage. This is where the masseur gets oiled up and rubs his body and genitals all over before freaking the client at the end. The whole time I was massaging him, he kept telling me that I was really good with my hands. He also repeatedly told me how good he was at his job and plugging his business with a hinting tone. A very awkward session. I had a guy tell me, "Stop teasing. You know exactly what you're doing. Don't start me up and not finish." Studying to be licensed, but I volunteer my services at a harm reduction clinic. From 1921 I worked at a massage place as the receptionist. People used to come in all the time to ask how much massages were, and usually that was the extent of the conversation. One day a bloke walked in and asked how much the massages were, so I told him. Then he asked in an overly friendly voice if I did the massages. I naively plowed on with, "No, not me. They're done by." When my boss walked out of the consultation room he'd been in with the client and said, "I do the massages. Can I help you?" The guy looked instantly sheepish and couldn't get out the door fast enough. My boss said he'd overheard the guy ask if I did the massages and knew something wasn't right. Told me if that ever happened again to just say I would get the masseur for him and walk out. I do home visits. I'm male. Had a particular client 3 times. Usually I have clients stripped down to their underwear. The second session he got nude, but I didn't think much of it as he seemed okay. At the end of the third session, as I was massaging his neck while he's on his back, he just started jerking off. I was kind of shocked in the moment and didn't know what to do. He reached for my hand, as if to get me to finish him off, and at that point I stood up and said I have to go. Was fairly awkward waiting for him to get dressed so I could pack my table and get my money and leave. I've had a couple of incidents in my 5 years. Female therapists would have it much worse. Sucks that massage is associated with the sensual, sexual, because I really like helping people overcome aches and mobility issues. But it's hard to advertise without getting calls from guys wanting their dong tugged. My parents own a spa I used to work at. I have a shit ton of stories, but here's a goodie. At one point we had 2 male massage therapists. Now, I worked in the call center, and before booking a massage, we would always clarify if the client was comfortable seeing a male massage therapist, as we had a majority female clientele. But one day this male client books a massage for himself with our male therapist, Ed. He was a new client, and actually requested a male. Whatever, guy goes in for his appointment, and the first half is normal. Dude's naked on the massage table with a blanket covering his lower half. First half of the massage he's on his stomach. Then Ed tells him to go ahead and flip over to his back to continue. This fricker flips over, hands Ed a wad of cash from who knows where saying "That's for you," and starts to jerk himself off. Ed promptly said, "All right, your appointment is done, they'll take care of you at the front desk," and books it out of there. Dude pays, leaves with no problem. Here's the kicker. Ed never told my parents, a manager, nothing. We only found out through work gossip. But, because we didn't know about this creep, the guy ended up calling and scheduling another appointment with Ed. We found out shortly after booking the scoop, and the guy was asked to not come back. The spa's a pretty upscale place in the triple-digit price range, so not sure if the guy just thought we were an expensive spa with a side hustle or a really cheap brothel. I get a call from my friend one night. Her boss wants a massage and she recommended me, since he is my friend's boss. I don't really worry much, and head over to this dude's place with my gear. When I first come in, and have everything set up, the dude offers me a Vegas bomb. I pass, and the massage starts as normal. Everything is going normal. The dude was Indian, I think, and was saying how this is great. He would recommend me to all his friends, etc. But about halfway through I hear, "You do happy ending?" My hands just froze. No one had ever asked me that before. My friends make jokes and all, but I'd never before had to deal with a client seriously asking this. The conversation goes like this: "Creepy dude, you do happy ending?" Me: "No." CD: "Why not?" Me: "Because that's disgusting and unprofessional." CD: "I pay extra." Me: "We're done here." I stopped the massage, packed up my gear, told him to pay the full price and left. Once I was home I called up my friend to tell her what a creep her boss was. She started laughing her ass off. Apparently he had asked her if I did happy endings and she thought he was joking and joked back yes. My wife and I were at a small resort in Costa Rica. When we go on vacations she always gets massages, but I never do. This time we decided to get a couple's massage. We get in the room, and the two are waiting for us each by a table. She had this Latin love god, and I a cute girl in her early 30s. They tell us to take off our clothes and gave us these little paper undies, then left the room. The room was nice, it had a little fountain with some foliage and some soothing sounds from speakers. We each looked at the paper undies, laughed and decided to forego them. It just seemed too silly. They started the massage, and it felt good. She would stretch my arm, then start working it, first going over it lightly, then gradually getting harder. The time came to do my butt. She moved the towel down and started working my cheeks, then the inside of my cheeks, which I thought was odd, but I'm new to this massage world and maybe that's what a deep tissue was. At this time I'm starting to feel, not relaxed, but insecure. I suddenly become aware of my wife next to me who sounds more than relaxed. Meanwhile back at my butt, she was really doing the inside of the cheeks well. I had hoped this was the last spot she would do. The last thing I want is butt cheek sweat rubbed all over my body. Then started to press down on my actual anus. I felt pressure building up behind her thumb. I clench, and I clench like I never have before. I spin around and say very politely, "Thank you for the massage, my wife. Our time isn't up yet." I told her we have to go now. I told my wife what happened and she laughed at me and said, "Only to you." And now this is her favorite story to tell. Someone I know, they are female, said that while doing a Brazilian wax on a male he became. She just wiped it up and remained professional. I don't know how. I have a friend who is a licensed massage therapist and has been studying medicine and been around doctors for much of his life. One of his sessions with a regular female client, while she was face down and he was in front of her, by her head, working on her back. She reached up and grabbed his ass. He asked what she was doing, and she said, "Sorry, I don't know. I couldn't help myself." He told her not to do that again, and the rest of the session continued as normal. At the end of the session he got her a glass of water, and as he turned around to leave she grabbed his ass again. Still she apologized and seemed genuinely upset and embarrassed, insisting that she just couldn't help herself. My friend ponders for a moment, before doing a peripheral vision check on her. Her vision is way below what is normal. Massage therapist calls the client's husband and suggests that they go see a doctor, because there might be something wrong with her impulse control and vision, suggesting maybe some sort of frontal lobe problem. Sure enough, a few days later she had an MRI and there was a tumor developing in her frontal lobe. Glioblastoma, I think. I forget the exact medical language he used. It was removed and she is doing fine now. My wife is an RMT, registered massage therapist. A lot of tradespeople go out west to work, be overpaid, but return to visit family or inevitably return. She had one such client who had just gotten back from the oil rigs and assured her that if she did a real good job he'd tip her well, in more than one way. She said she'll make sure she does a good job and to apply deep pressure if that's what he wanted. But he just kept suggesting a real good job and lots of money. She's not a prude, and she doesn't take shit from anyone. However, wasn't sure if his dong was moving involuntarily or if he was actually wagging it at her. I chimed in, and let her know that the dude was definitely dong wagging, hoping she'd take notice. Obviously she didn't do anything. Got a mediocre tip and saw the guy maybe once or twice after with similar, if not less subdued interactions. That's probably the worst thing to happen to her. However, a male colleague of hers had been charged with sexual assault and causing physical harm to a couple clients. Shit does happen, more than one might think. I was told about a friend of mine's experience with a masseur. She's really into witchy stuff and swears by the idea of manifesting outcomes by putting the idea out into the world and truly devoting yourself to it. She just doesn't really seem to understand that as long as her desires can somehow be obtained by exploiting the sexual whims of various men, she will have no issues making things happen in life. Poor girl is 29 and she just found out that, as a reasonably attractive, hypersexual woman, there are countless men who will pay for her to do things for no reason other than the fact that they want to sleep with her. All that is to say that one day, after having recently become single, she got the idea in her head that she wanted to get a massager with a happy ending. Her mindset. She began her process of manifesting the outcome of having sex with a guy who has just spent a substantial amount of time rubbing down her naked body. She succeeded, as the next time she went out to get a massage, the therapist brought her on the table and decided it was probably a bad idea to accept payment for the full body internal and external massage he just administered. My naive friend went on to assume that this only worked because she manifested it into existence. And it had nothing to do with a horny man having spent 40 minutes rubbing down a thick yoga booty while she did her best to express how turned on she was getting. My massage therapist once asked, "Are you satisfied?" toward the end of the session, and something about his tone felt very suggestive, and I don't know, maybe I was just projecting, but I said that yes I was, and he finished the massage normally and I went on my way and I never book him anymore. Please subscribe if you like the video. It really helps the channel to grow. Adios.